Coming up on today's show, the Tesla Model 3 is here, Nissan teases information about how aerodynamic the 2018 Leaf is, and Hyperloop One takes a giant step towards making Hyperloop travel a reality. These stories and more coming next on 10. Like all our content, today's show is funded by the in-stream ads on today's video and by the kind donations of viewers like you. Follow the link at the end of today's video to make a monthly donation to our Patreon crowdfunding campaign to help keep us independent and impartial. And if you're already donating, thanks for your continued support. It's Friday, August 4th, 2017. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and yes, as you all discovered last week, I really can't say Cowley correctly. I'm sorry for those I offended. I blame a mispronunciation when I was very little that just stuck in my head and that it's super difficult to get rid of. I'll make more of an effort from now on. Sorry. On with the show, and to last Friday when Tesla began deliveries of its Model 3 electric car, handing over some 30 Model 3 cars to employees and friends of Tesla. Tesla CEO Elon Musk shared with us the specs and final expected range of the entry-level Model 3, 220 miles or 354 kilometers, plus details of what will and won't come as standard. Opt for the larger battery pack, which gives just over 40% more range, and you'll have to pay an additional $9,000 on top of the sticker price, while things like autopilot and glass roofs, as well as other premium features, will push the price up to nearly $60,000. And while Model 3 isn't suitable for everyone, Musk confirmed earlier this week that Tesla has changed its plans on its next car, the Model Y, basing the car heavily off Model 3 existing technology so that it can bring its mass-market affordable SUV to market as quickly as possible. No details are available yet, but expect this model by 2020. Staying with Tesla a little longer, it released its Q2 earnings this week, showing a slight increase on its gross automotive margin over the previous quarter, beating Wall Street revenue estimates but faring worse than analysts had predicted in terms of loss. Overall, Tesla's revenue was $2.79 billion, while its overall losses rose to $336 million. It's worth noting, though, that losses per share remained at $2.04 as they had in the previous quarter, thanks to Tesla issuing some additional shares during the period, thus diluting the overall loss amongst its shareholders. Overall, however, Tesla's Q2 report represented steady progress, with the start of Model 3 deliveries leading investors feeling generally bullish towards the firm. With the end of July now behind us, it's time for another monthly sales report for the US, a month which saw the Chevrolet Volt ER-EV and Toyota Prius Prime reach a total of 10,000 unit sales since the start of the year, and the Chevrolet Bolt EV lead the known plug-in sales charts with 1,937 total sales for the month. And that puts the Bolt EV at 9,563 models sold since the start of the year, which certainly puts to bed the suggestion that GM is trying to kill sales, especially when the outgoing Nissan Leaf sales totals for the year are almost 1,000 units left. Admittedly, the Leaf gets replaced in September with the next-gen model, so we're going to have to watch and see if that makes any major difference in the high-end plug-in charts. Of course, while we know Tesla is also up there in terms of cars sold, I can't be specific since Tesla only gives global sales figures every quarter. It's been on sale in certain markets for the last 3 years and is a throwback to the time when Daimler had a sizable investment in Tesla. But this week, the company confirmed it intends to ramp down production of the Mercedes-Benz B-Class electric drive by the end of this year, causing many enthusiasts to complain and moan that the company is killing its electric car program. But while the B-Class electric drive was most certainly a compliance car with a Tesla-engineered drivetrain, its demise has been expected for some time, since Tesla ceased producing drivetrains for the B-Class several months ago, and Mercedes-Benz has its own plan to bring the first of many long-range in-house electric cars to market in the next year or so. With no onboard fast charging, the B-Class ED may not be the most practical of cars, but it does drive well, so if you're interested, grab one before they're all gone. In last week's show, we heard that the CEO of Royal Dutch Shell had announced his next car was going to come with a plug, illustrating just how far we've come in terms of mainstream acceptance of plug-in cars. And this week, we learned that rival peddler of fossil fuels, BP, is in talk with several charging station providers around the world about installing electric vehicle charging infrastructure at its filling stations. The reason? Well, electric cars are here to stay. Fossil fuel sales are starting to fall, and companies like BP don't don't want to be left out in the cold. Given how widespread filling stations are, it could dramatically transform the way we think about electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And I, for one, can't wait. With the reveal of the 2018 Nissan Leaf less than a month away, we saw the first naked spy shots of the next-gen plug-in this week, captured while the car was being filmed for a commercial in Spain. As usual, I can't share them with you here for reasons of copyright, but despite the car being spotted without camouflage on, Nissan has continued its drip-feeding of information about the next-gen Leaf, releasing a new video this week focusing on the car's aerodynamic design. Sadly, no figures are quoted, but, says Nissan, the Leaf's pretty slippery and therefore very efficient too. Given the new Model 3 has a drag coefficient of 0.23 and the old Leaf was 0.29, I'm curious to see just how slippery the new Leaf really is. Hyperloop One, one of two startups trying to commercialise Hyperloop travel, announced the successful completion of its first full-scale pod test this week, accelerating its XP1 prototype capsule to a top speed of 192 miles per hour, 308 kph, inside of its aptly named DevLoop, just outside Las Vegas, Nevada. There's still a long way to go before Hyperloop travel can be commercialised, but this successful test, the first of its kind, does certainly move Hyperloop from the hypothetical to the technically possible. So I, for one, am super excited to see where the next engineering project for this goes. Not so long ago, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the Tesla Model S 100D, with the right driver, could easily travel more than 1,000 kilometers on a charge. And of course, there's been a slew of Tesla fans eager to prove that point, with 901 kilometers being the longest distance achieved on a single charge until this week, when an Italian Tesla Model S 100D owner managed 1,078 kilometers on a full charge. That's just shy of 600 miles. While it's an amazing achievement, it's perhaps not one you're going to want to replicate yourself, as the average speed for this record attempt was just 37 kph or 23 miles per hour. Yes, it's possible, but you'll probably save time just stopping to charge and driving a lot faster. Over the past 6 months or so, there's been a palpable change in the way electric cars are being viewed by mainstream automakers. And this week, we got another example of that when we heard that Audi is reportedly working to cut €10 billion off its operating costs so that it can push full speed ahead with its electric vehicle programs. Although I should note here that Audi's parent company Volkswagen, with its CEO Matthias Müller, is also reportedly facing a massive backlash against its newfound EV push, as members of its board aren't quite as EV-friendly as its new CEO is. Back to Audi. Apparently, the majority of the money saved will come from slashing other research and development programs. Yet, with the luxury car market looking like it will be the first to become fully electrified, there's really no time to spare, and if it wants a market share, Audi has to act now. Fiat Chrysler CEO Sergio Marchionne is no fan of electric cars, and if you've watched this show for any length of time, you'll know that he's poo-pooed plug-in cars a lot, both at his role at FCA, but also as his role as CEO of Ferrari. Well, this week, hell froze over when Marchionne confirmed that sister brand Maserati will become electrified by 2022. Yes, you heard me. Maserati, one of many Italian brands known for its large engines and low gas mileage, is going to start using electric drivetrains. But before you get all excited, I should point out that he uses the word electrified rather than electric, which does indicate that we could be seeing hybrid rather than plug-in hybrid or full electric cars. But it's a step in the right direction, right? After winning the inaugural FIA Formula E Championship title, only to lose out to rival Sebastian Buemi last year, Lucas de Grassi was awarded the Formula E Drivers' Championship title for the 2016-2017 season last weekend at the season's double-headed finale in Montreal, Canada. While de Grassi's final race wasn't all that spectacular, he finished 7th overall, he fared far better during the penultimate race held the day before, earning both pole position and finishing first to give him enough points to claim victory in the Drivers' Championship. Congratulations to de Grassi, and here's to the next Formula E season, complete with some pretty big changes that should make the race series even more exciting. Less than a year after announcing its solar roof products, Tesla has begun installing solar roofs at homes of its employees and investors. And as we learned during Tesla's Q2 earnings call, the roof tiles Tesla's using at the moment are being built at its Fremont production facility. But production should shift to solar roof tiles at Tesla's Buffalo production facility before the end of the year. Just like Model 3, employees are effectively helping Tesla iron out the kinks by being customer guinea pigs before a wider public rollout happens. But with Tesla now producing and installing everything from solar roofs to battery storage systems and electric cars, the Tesla ecosystem is starting to look pretty darned awesome. It's small, unusually tall for its size, and looks a little like a poached egg if you look at it wrong. But it was also the first mass-produced electric car of its generation to go on sale, beating the Nissan Leaf to market by quite a distance. But after more than 7 years of being on sale, Mitsubishi is finally pulling the i-Miev out of the US market, just as it's being phased out elsewhere in the world. Sales have been pretty terrible over the last few years due to its small range and 16 kWh battery pack, but I for one have a soft spot in my heart for this quirky, fun little runabout. Thank you, i-Miev, and here's hoping that you'll be replaced with something totally awesome, although Mitsubishi remains really tight-lipped on that one, and I'm kind of worried that you won't be. And finally, as I covered at the start of the show, Tesla began delivering Model 3 last week, with most of its early cars going to Tesla employees. But one Model 3 ended up going to longtime investor Steve Yvertson, who published a little video this week showcasing a hidden Easter egg in the Model 3's navigation system that might make space fans smile. A tweak that lets you drive your Model 3 on Mars. The car turns into the Mars rover and the GPS works, it just places you on Mars instead of Earth. And while it's not useful per se in the real world, it shows us where Elon Musk's heart really is, the red planet. And given what we've seen of Musk thus far, I think he'll get there. And on that space-tastic note, it's time for me to say goodbye for the week. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and hit that notification button to make sure you don't miss an episode. And if you like what I'm doing, why not contribute to the show's running costs via Patreon? I've left a link at the end of the video and in the description below. As always, I'll be back next week with more cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation news. But until then, thanks for joining me. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. This was 10. Have a great weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.